I am so excited here today to have with us here at the New York Downtown Clown Revue, Mr. Michael Bongar. Hello, Michael.
Do you believe he's excited? I don't. That's disingenuous.
So first things first, can you talk to me a little bit about your clown work? Can you describe some of your clown work?
I was studying theater at Antioch College in Ohio. I was in London doing some work, and I said, hey, I saw this thing on 60 Minutes of Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Clown College. That sounds like a trip. I got into clowning the same reason everyone gets into clowning. I thought it was a nice, interesting way to meet girls. I went there to clown college, and I really did love it. I fell in love with it, kept doing it, did it for many years. And my approach to clowning is I did a lot of theater before I did clowning. So I would say it's a theatrical approach, but my training is circus.
Were there any clowns that influenced your work?
Clowns that influenced my work. Well, Bill Ballantyne, who was director of Ringling Clown College when I was there, had a movie program that's famous every night. And I palled around with the more academic group of my classmates, and this is 1973. So we saw Chaplin, we saw Keaton. There were the Chaplin guys and the Keaton guys, and they'd have rumbles after, if you thought you were really cool to be into Keaton. Those were the guys that really wanted to be cool. They were into Keaton. But really, Chaplin is super great. I got turned on by Shakespeare, clowning in Shakespeare, before I even went to clown college. And as far as modern influences go, they were all kind of happening when I was happening. So early on, it was the Chaplin and Keaton.
Where were some of the places?
So it was 1973. And a lot of people talked about Ringling Clown College, that this was a dead, dying art form, circus clowning. And Ringling Clown College was started as a way to invigorate it. It was a very closed community. You could only get into being a circus clown by being born into it or knowing someone. So all of a sudden, Clown College, Bill Ballantyne, Irvin Feld were going out there and looking for kids who had been to college. Now, this was the 60s, and we were all into rock and roll, experimental music, experimental theater. I actually worked with the Living Theater, the Open Theater, Richard Foreman, Mabu Mine's first show. I remember that. I was at Theater for the New City. So this was something that was so old that it was new again. Went into it, and people like Ovner and Shiner and started to do different fun things with it.
Anything like besides circus and theater? Was there anything that you saw coming into it?
Well, there's skills, one of my classmates was Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller. Obviously, we used to talk about the Firesign Theater, which was a radio group, doing real 60s humor, kind of college campus type stuff. And they had a show called We're All Bozos on This Bus. Remember that?
Yeah.
So, we kind of brought that in. A little Python, which at the time was new. But really, I think clowning is about learning the old stuff.
Would you say that there are any rules to clowning? Are there any rules to clowning?
There are a lot of rules, and I think you have to learn them all. those are about timing, storytelling, character, and you really have to study people, study the greats, find your own interpretation, learn all the rules, then break them all, break them. But I really feel strongly that it's a discipline that you have to apprentice yourself to.
And I guess sort of connected to that, like what are some of those important elements of clowning? Character, relationship.
Character, your character needs to be real and true and honest and crazy, eccentric, theatrical, absurd, but it needs to be rooted into a realness. And you can learn that by watching good Shakespearean clowns. How to give them, when Dick Monday teaches improv, he talks about always saying yes. When you work with Avner, he talks about breathing, taking your time to breathe, empowers you and brings the audience into you. And when you work with Shiner, it's about respect for the sanctity of the stage and performing area and passion for what you're doing, love for what you're doing.
What experience do you hope for in watching a clown performance?
Okay, so what's a clown? A clown...
That's what we're asking you.
Yeah. A clown is one thing. Why be a clown? You gotta make the people laugh. That's one damn thing. Be funny. And you're funny by surprising people, usually. So, now, how many clowns are funny? I don't know. You answer that question. But me, Barry Lubin, and I talk about this, you got to be funny. A clown is to be funny. I started doing business, and really, if you're a performer, even if you're in the purest art form, say you're in the opera at the Met, you still got to do business. You may have a manager, you may have an agent. Business is a part of what we do. I always was good at the business part, naturally, and I was able to fit into a corporate, which is what my business is. I do speaking about business sometimes, and again, it's about being honest. That's really the biggest secret to business.
So I want to ask two more things. First of all, what would you like to see more of in clowning today?
Innovation. I want to see funniness. I want to see comedy. I want people to make me laugh through their character and all their timing skills. And I want to see them do something that's not been done before.
Just tell us what act you'll be presenting this evening, and just briefly about how it's developed and what it is now.
This evening, I will be presenting Magic Mike. I went to the Va Va Voom Room 10 years ago, Kate Valentine's burlesque show, and I saw a magician who was an older person. She was actually a woman, and she killed me. So corny and so bad that I loved it, and that was how she was my muse.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Michael Bongar. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing the performance this evening.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, studio audience.